What we're not gonna do is masturbate on a desktop computer facing a window anyone can peer into with the door open. Full volume, no headphones. What are we doing? What are we doing? My name is Sin. Welcome back to my channel. Before I get into today's video, I want to remind everyone to please subscribe. Hopefully you can tell I've kind of reamped my studio space. On my ever-going hunt of trying to find movies directed by women, I found this movie, Yes, God, Yes, directed by Karen Maine. And actually, I'd seen it before, like years ago. I think I saw it when it came out, and I didn't realize like it was a short film first that then got picked up and turned into a feature film, which I'm so glad that it did. The short film that was made was done very beautifully, it was done very well, but the length of the film just didn't do it justice. And I'm so glad that a studio picked it up and blessed us with a full feature film. So this film is set in the early 2000s, and Alice is this sexually inexperienced but very curious junior at a very strict Catholic high school. And this imagery that we first get shown in the opening kind of credits is what I assume that foreigners think all American schools look like.
My pronouns are USA.
I feel like if you lived anywhere besides the United States and all you did was watch the news, you would infer high schools to be decked out as kind of decor. It's just like Jesus and American flags everywhere. We cut to Alice in her morality class, which is taught by Father Murphy, and he's basically giving the birds and the bees talk to the classroom.
Okay, it's like this. Guys are like microwave ovens, and ladies are like conventional ovens.
Which I guess in other schools it would be like their version of sex ed, which is not only outdated, it's just wrong. I don't think all guys get turned on like that. I don't think all girls take forever to get turned on. I think guys are just doing it wrong. But in my high school, we had abstinence-only sex education, which means like you just can't have sex before you get married. Like you have to get married to have sex. People would come in and scare us into not having sex.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. And
so it's basically the same thing. They call it morality class. We call it abstinence-only sex education, which has been proven to not work. Just been proven to be harmful because kids go into sex blind and they make all kinds of mistakes, whether it's not understanding consent or transmitting STIs, hurting each other, and pregnancy. There's so much that could go wrong if you just don't have the knowledge and the resources to have safe sex.
Huh? Who would have thought?
Like I remember when I was in high school, we had a chlamydia outbreak. I didn't because I was a loser who didn't have sex in high school. But the jocks, because they were all having sex with each other and like swapping girlfriends and stuff, like it was a good chunk of like the football players and cheerleaders that had chlamydia. And we're supposed to be waiting before marriage, allegedly, right? Right? So Alice obviously feels so much shame around her sexuality and her feelings and urges about sex because not only is she being taught in school that like it's bad and you're gonna go to hell, but other students and specifically her friend make her feel bad for even having like curiosity around sex. So her friend has a party over the weekend that she goes to and she's like in a room with this guy for like 2 seconds by themselves. And if anyone knows anything about sex, you can't have sex in like 2 seconds. If you go into a room and then come straight back out, no sex is happening in that time frame, right? But because these people don't know anything about sex, they start this rumor that she tossed this guy's salad.
What? Gross. You tossed his salad in my sauna? What? No.
And she doesn't even know what this is, but it's going around and everyone's just taking it as like the truth. And so because of this rumor, she's not allowed to like participate in like their school mass.
Alice, if you want to continue to be a gift bearer, you have to conduct yourself like one. Did you see that?
Which is honestly insane. It's a baseless rumor. We're gonna ruin someone's life over it? Yes. Yes, we are, because that's what people do to promiscuous women. They deserve to be ostracized from society because they have sex, which is crazy because she didn't even have sex with this guy. I think she says that like she went to get a soda and he happened to be in the same room, like where the fridge was, where the sodas were, and now she's the village whore. Like, It's funny, but it's not. Like, it's funny, but it's not. And so partly because of this rumor and how it's affecting her in school, and because she already has this kind of like shame around these feelings, when it's presented to her that there's like this religious retreat that the school hosts, her and her friend Laura both sign up to go. When they get to the campgrounds and they're getting off the bus, Alice is kind of looking around. She spots Chris, which is one of the senior leaders.
Welcome to Kirkos.
It's like love at first sight. It's cute. It's a cute little moment where she's like, oh, she has a crush on this boy. Until she zooms in on his arms. We're doing a little too much. And she's assigned to like his group. So she gets to fantasize about his hairy arms all the time because they're going to be in close proximity, I guess. I guess when you go to these camps, you have to hand over your technology because you're supposed to like be one with God and nature. And I think she doesn't.
No phone? Okay.
She plays like this little like snake game on her phone, and when it buzzes, she discovers what vibrations can do. So that was the first day. On the second day, they're all going on this hike and Laura's trying to talk to Alice, but Alice is paying attention to Chris. And Chris is talking to these girls, and because he's talking to them, he notices that like one of them trips and like he goes to like help it, right? And so Alice gets it in her mind that she's going to trip to get Chris's attention.
Oh my God. Are you okay?
Everything okay here, troops?
She obviously takes it a step too far and she like actually scrapes her knees and she pretends like she can't walk, which we all know she can. And then Chris carries her to the nurse's office.
Let's get you to the nurse, huh?
Come on, everyone. You'll be fine. You gotta stay on track.
Later, Nina finds her phone.
What was that? I specifically asked you for your phone on the day you arrived.
Her punishment is to clean up after everyone. And because she is stuck behind cleaning up after lunch, she goes on Father Murphy's computer and she goes on AOL to ask what tossing someone's salad mean, because again, even now, she doesn't know what that means.
What?
And I don't understand why she keeps going into AOL chat rooms, because that's how this whole thing started.
Mom?
And that's how she's been like exploring her sexuality and like doing all these things and chatting with people and like having cyber sex. And might I just add, on one hand, it's great she's protecting her privacy when she's talking to people and not showing them pictures of herself. On the other hand, why are we using our best friend's photos? Like, yes, you're keeping yourself safe, but you're now endangering your friend. But again, she's like 17. Oh, I think my question was like, why doesn't she just Google it? Why are we asking strangers who aren't gonna like either give us an actual response or try to cyber sext us? You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. She hears someone coming, so she obviously runs away, and she runs into Nina, who gives her a s'more.
We pretended each marshmallow was a different mortal sin before burning it. Yours was lust.
Oh.
And all I'm gonna say to that is like,
Well, Tina, fuck you!
okay, so she's horny, but she's like also like 17 and probably just got her period a few years ago. Like, that's normal. Thinking about sex is normal. Being curious about it, normal. Not too much of my girl right now because we're doing the most. And I also want to say fuck you to Nina because Nina,
You know what you did.
this is rich coming from Nina of all people. Like, cut my girl some slack. She just discovered porn and like her clit. Like, she's living in a whole new world. She has questions. She just had her mind blown by a fucking cell phone. Like, let her live. My God. Jesus. So on the third day, Father Murphy discovers what's on his computer because, again, Alice did not log off properly, so she just turned off the monitor. But when you turn off the monitor and don't close out of a browser, you're just gonna be opened to the browser, and he can see that someone was having an explicit conversation on his AOL chat messenger or whatever thing, and he asks them to confess, which obviously no one does because it's a room full of high school students who are never gonna do that. And I love the way that like Laura looks at Alice because she knows.
She knows.
Later, when Alice is cleaning up, she confronts Wade about his mistreatment of her and basically enabling the spreading of this rumor that they both know is false.
What is your problem with me?
My problem is that Heather almost dumped me because of that disgusting rumor you started.
I didn't start it.
Help this girl out. She's out here in the ocean all by herself, drowning in these rumors that people are accusing her of being this village whore, and you're just standing on the sidelines not helping her, knowing that it's also ruining your relationship. Like, I think he just says that his girlfriend broke up with him over this. Like, if you care about your girlfriend and if you just want to be a nice person, tell people this rumor isn't true. But no, he probably likes the attention, right? And when he leaves, she notices that he dropped his promise bracelet or whatever with his girlfriend. She uses that as evidence to plant in the father's study. When she's in there planting the bracelet, the father comes in, and so she runs out real quick and catches him masturbating to porn. I don't give a fuck about that. That's not the crazy part. Everyone should masturbate, right? And if you want to watch porn, if you do consume it ethically, by all means, if you're an adult, do what the fuck you want to do. What I will not stand for is the fact that this man was jerking it in a building full of high schoolers on a desktop computer facing a curtainless window. Absolutely not. If you want to jerk off in the privacy of your own bedroom by yourself where no one can see you, by all means do that. Who cares? We've all done it. I do it. What we're not gonna do is masturbate on a desktop computer facing a window anyone can peer into with the door open. Full volume, no headphones. What are we doing? What are we doing? Talk about the reckless hypocrisy. I am
Disgusted.
Also, when she's cleaning that day, she is mopping the kitchen, and outside the kitchen window, she sees Nina and this other senior leader guy kissing. And if it was just kissing, it's whatever, I guess they're dating. No, she goes down on him in the woods. Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that the same girl who said that Alice was full of lust and couldn't control herself? Oh. The little virgin girl who's just curious and just discovered porn in her clit is the village whore, but you going down and giving someone a blowjob are a saint? No, that's not how that works. So we're gonna put some respect on Alice's name, okay? She's the only one not doing anything. Okay, maybe she's masturbating, and I guess that's a sin to some people, but she's not over here giving blowjobs in the woods. Which, again, all these things are fine. They're the ones that are this is a sin. I'm gonna go to hell if I do this, and then just keep doing it. Is it okay or are we going to hell? I need to know. And because she sees this, Alice does some things I don't know if she's proud of. The nun walks in on her and she immediately runs out and goes to find Laura, who tells her that she just witnessed Nina giving someone a blowjob. And Laura goes off on her.
You want attention. Okay, you know what? I bet you actually did toss Wade's salad.
Fuck you, Laura, because why the fuck are we slut-shaming someone who isn't even a slut? Also, if she's your friend, wouldn't you have a little bit more compassion and empathy for your friend? With the way her sex education is going, Laura's probably gonna turn out to be one of those girls that only does anal because she thinks Jesus can't look up her ass. I don't know. She's just gonna be one of those misguided people that doesn't know shit about sex. And she just goes for a walk and stumbles across Chris, who's all by himself. And they sit down for a while and she just goes and kisses him and he gets turned on and runs away, which is really funny.
What are you doing? You know that I get turned on like a microwave.
Later that night, they're singing around the campfire, and she just feels very alienated, so she just runs away, and she stumbles across this lesbian bar. She talks to the owner, who kind of just validates her feelings and affirms to her that life is going to get better, and you know what she's feeling is normal.
I thought I was going to go to hell for looking through my dad's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
I thought I was going to hell for having cyber sex.
And she gives her a ride back to the campgrounds and finally tells her what tossing someone's salad is.
Means licking someone's butthole.
We then find out that Alice's plan worked and Wade is on the hook for being in the AOL chat room. And because rumors spread like wildfire, it gets back to Laura, and Laura apologizes to Alice for basically calling her a psycho perv.
Now that we know he's a perv, he probably made up that rumor about you guys.
They are then asked to speak on their experience that weekend, and Wade goes up, he says some bullshit, and then Alice goes up and she gives this inspiring speech.
The truth is,
We're all just trying to figure out our shit.
Sorry.
And that's the end of the retreat. Back at school, Alice runs into Chris and this happens.
Hey.
It's so funny that he like tries to run away from her, fails miserably. I think he just says that they can be friends because it's just awkward to not say that they can be friends. I don't really know how Catholicism works and when they confess or whatever, but she has a confession meeting with Father Murphy, and she basically confesses that she watched porn and describes in detail the kind of porn that he was watching on that computer, and they both know what the other one is talking about.
They were on the hood of a car with graffiti on it.
And he basically gives her like a bunch of Hail Marys and like things to do to repent. But she doesn't do it because she knows like she's talking about his sins and what he did in the porn he watched. And she just goes straight home. Because I guess like after you confess, you have to go say your Hail Marys right away in front of the huge Jesus. I don't know if any one of you guys have ever been to a Catholic church. It's so scary. I'm so sorry to like, I'm speaking from a very traumatized place, but it is scary the way that people like recite things in unison. And the one here in where I live, there's this huge, like I'm talking mega gigantic statue of Jesus Christ suspended from the ceiling. Last time I was in a church, I had a panic attack. Full disclosure, 100%, I could not breathe. I had to like leave the building. It was so bad. It's honestly so scary. I'm so sorry. Really, that scares me. But I guess she didn't want to repent for sins that weren't really hers. And she just goes straight home and watches the Titanic sex scene. And that is, yes, God, yes. Like, I know right now, no one of us are better than any iPad kid. We have to like have something on TV and then have our phones while we're watching something. I was glued. I was glued to my screen, no other screen in my hands. Like I was locked in. This movie was that good because it challenges like the status quo in religion and sexuality and what's normal and what's good and shame. Like all of these themes it tackles in such a lighthearted and funny way, and in a way that is kind of inviting you into the conversation, shame and guilt free. Religion can be scary, it can be intimidating, but if it's something that you really want it to be a part of your life, I feel like there's a way to talk about it and to approach topics and learn and grow within the religion that isn't shame or guilt based. I feel like you can teach sex education and give people the tools and resources, even if you don't want them to have sex before marriage, because the outcome of that is you're gonna have people who are married just as clueless, having sex just as harmful. I've truly heard this before. People have anal sex because they think only like vaginal sex is like what God deems as sex. So if you have anal sex, like you're not really having sex. Like it's not the truth. Or like when Mormons soak, like we're doing the most to find these loopholes when you can just have normal, consensual, enthusiastic, shame-free sex, even if you wait until you get married. And also sex is way more than a man and a woman having missionary sex. Like there's just so many things. I could go on, I'm not going to, but I love the way that this movie relaxes people to be able to have a very open and honest conversation, and it kind of makes fun a little bit of religion and their scare tactics when they're like teaching kids, specifically teenagers who are coming of age and they don't know too much about themselves or have confidence or have questions and they're curious about their bodies, about other people's bodies. Like I still can't get over the fact that she is sexually attracted to like very hairy men, but hey, it's not my cup of tea and I don't have to care about her cup of tea if I'm not the one drinking it. Amen, right? So I definitely recommend everyone watch this movie. It is so funny. Let me know what you guys think of it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I have so much fun making these videos, and I will see you next time.